areas within Board 14 that may not be in the area if it is incorporated. So there's a likelihood that the community council would possibly continue for those areas of the county that are not within the municipal boundaries or the proposed municipal boundaries. Okay? Does that answer the question, Mr. Murray?
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Mr. Murray, just to follow on that, Mr. Chair, if I could. For example, the area that is on the corner of the considered boundaries that I actually live in is actually a part of a community council 12, which is carved out along with a section of Commissioner Zapata's district. So there are community councils which would straddle different areas, and then those would need to be addressed in terms of what happens, adjusting those boundaries for that to apply it to the fact that the area is now a particular city. So it depends on the particular council.
Thank you.
You said you're, sorry, Willie Wright again. You said your department is in charge of planning the area.
Yeah.
Is there any possibility, because we are growing proportionately in the southern area, that the boundaries might be extended? I know we're in District 9, but if this comes about where it's incorporated, is there any possibility that the boundaries of the city could be extended? And let me tell you why I'm at, right now I'm looking at this map, and if this is, you're stopping at 127th Avenue. But if you look at the number of homes that have just been constructed, including mine, we are beyond 127th Avenue. We are between 127th and 137th. And that area is, according to this, may be left out. I'm saying, is there a possibility that that boundary could be extended?
What street you on?
I'm on 128th Avenue. 127th Avenue, I'm on 128th Avenue. And right now, your boundaries look like,
What's
you
the
go
street?
down
What's the street number?
184th Street, Eureka Drive, in front of Larry Penn and Thompson Park.
Okay, the boundaries run to 157th Avenue, 120th Street.
But they're going west to
Going
157th?
west, go west, the airport, the airport.
The airport is on 137.
It goes to 157. It goes from 137 to 157.
But does it go all the way?
We go to the end of the airport.
Yeah, but going south, how far does that 137?
232nd Street.
No, it cuts in.
It cuts around, but you know.
Yeah, but
It doesn't go, but your boundary is not, but your boundary excludes between 127 and 137. Your boundaries, according to this, that area is excluded. My question is, I'm looking at the map, and that's where I live.
I think there's going to be a time where the
There's going to be
board
what?
there's going to be a time when the board is going to look at that boundary.
Sorry, folks, can you quiet down, please? We can't hear up here. Thank you.
There's going to be a time where we're going to look at the boundaries and look at things like that in terms of is it properly sized? Is it leaving out anything?
Well, I think it is, because that area where you got, if you go down 184th Street, Eureka Drive, and you look at 127th Avenue to 137th Avenue, you got a number of homes in there on half acres, 3/4 of an acre, those homes, and they are more pricey, if I can use that term, than some of the homes that are just east of 127th Avenue, off 184th Street. And so my question is, if this becomes an incorporation, is there a possibility that that area could be included? Or is this permanent?
Sir, I can address your question. The Board of County Commissioners, Commissioner Moss, put an ordinance forward for these particular boundaries, and he did
I
not go-
understand.
And he did not go into District 8, which is where you live. I suggest that you talk to your commissioner and let her know your concerns, and if a group of residents go to her, I'm sure she'd be okay that this MAC study that area as well. But because the code does not allow the commissioner to go into another boundary unless that commissioner allows it,
Okay,
that's
my
why the
question.
boundaries were set the way they were.
Then is there any possibility that a recommendation from this
Oh,
quote-unquote
absolutely.
incorporation could be made to include that area?
This board can make a recommendation to.
To who? To the county commission?
To the county commission, yes.
But that commissioner.
We still have to okay that.
Right now, we got a new commissioner in
Right.
District
Yes.
8,
Right.
Carver, Daniel Carver.
Right.
Well, okay, I won't talk.
Anyway, we got,
Okay.
I just would like to add something to that, because remember, at the public hearing, even when this go before the PAB, you have an opportunity to be there, you could ask them to look at the possibility of including, because they have to make a recommendation also to the Board of County Commissioners when they come before, when this particular area is put before the Board of County Commissioners. When it gets to the PAB stage, which is the Planning and Advisory Board, those people living in that community could ask to be included in the
They'd have to sign a
actual,
petition or something.
Study area.
You'd have to
going forward.
petition.
It's my understanding also that if a section that's already included can ask to join another already incorporated area as well. My understanding is the process is supposed to ask the neighboring incorporated areas if they would like to have us join them. Right? You understand what I'm saying? So then instead of being the third, we could be the second or the first. We can join with Pinecrest, Palmetto, Butler Bay, or anyone. This is not the only one. Huh?
That's not true.
That's what I read.
okay, Alexis, we're done on Derm.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Roberto Rayante, and I work for RER, the Regulatory and Economic Resources Department, and a new section that was incorporated into that new department called Derm, Department of Environmental Resources Management. Now we are the Division of Environmental Resources Management, to keep it easy. Same acronym. My department, I'm not sure how many of you are aware of it. It came to be about 40 years ago as a response to the environmental calamities, if you will, that were occurring throughout the county and the states, on contained discharges of petroleum to groundwater, or any contamination from dry cleaners, or contamination of groundwater, the closing of some drinking water wells throughout the county, as well as other issues that were taking place throughout the United States. So in the 70s, they came up with this new department, whose mission still remains to protect the environment for its citizens and the people of the county, visitors as well. I have prepared a very lengthy PowerPoint presentation, which I'm glad that we all forgot to bring the equipment. I didn't mention that somebody needed to bring the equipment, but feel spared because of that. I'm just going to go through this, maybe addressing more of the questions that I hear are coming up. But Derm, or the division, has jurisdiction countywide over unincorporated areas of the county as well as incorporated areas of the county. We take care of all issues related to the environment or the protection of the natural resources, whether it is the air, the groundwater, the trees, the wetlands, the coastal areas, the operation of businesses that may generate a waste or may handle a hazardous material that may impair, the potability of our drinking water. We protect the drinking water wells for the water and sewer departments of the county, the water and the WASA department, as well as the cities that have their own drinking water utilities like Homestead or North Miami Beach, North Miami. This is countywide. So the issue of whether Derm is going to go away, I'm not aware that we're going anywhere. I hope not. There are permits that we issue. As far as money, we are a proprietary department. Our funds, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm not really dealing with the budget directly, because that's not my area. But we are proprietary. Our main sources of income come from the review of plans, the issues of operating permits, and grants, and very important, a utility service fee that we get from the water and sewer departments for protecting the groundwater. We also protect the aqueducts, the aqueducts aquifer that serve the cities in the Keys of Monroe County. We kind of fit nicely with the building department as well as zoning. No municipality is allowed to take zoning actions, planning actions, or issue occupational licenses, issue building permits without going to Derm, because we're kind of one. And there are many issues that come into that, and many reasons. For example, somebody in a building department in the city of Miami or another city wants to demolish a building. That building may contain asbestos. That stuff may fly off to your property or somebody else's property. Somebody may want to build in an area that's contaminated. Derm is the one that has the knowledge of that site and may be involved in the cleanup of that site. So usually how it works now in unincorporated areas is the plans come into the building department, building plan comes into the building department and gets routed after the building department returns. And Derm will make a series of comments and will either approve them or disapprove of the comments, and will tell you what is wrong or what is right with the plans. In municipalities, kind of like the same process will take place through their own, like Mr. Bullspeed said, through their own building department or through another agency that does it for them. They go to the city of Miami for Gables or Homestead, and they submit the plans to their building department. The building department will take a look at it from the zoning perspective or certain areas they can do ahead of us, and then they will ask the person to take them to Derm. Derm has two offices, one at Pick Center, the Permitting and Inspection Center on 408 and 122nd Avenue, another one downtown and overtown. And you bring the plans in, Derm reviews them, and now they go for the person to take back to the city. So that service is provided in that fashion until, well, there's no delegating of any authority to the municipality. There's two particular areas that could be delegated. One is tree protection. And one of the many things that we protect is our trees are either in the right of way, on private property in certain cases, or in other areas, coastal areas or whatever. Each municipality may enact its own tree ordinance. The only thing that's required by code is that that ordinance be submitted to the county, to Derm for review, and if Derm deems it equal or more restrictive or more careful with the tree resources, let me say, than ours, you can take that responsibility of tree reviews for the city. The other very important thing is, we have many delegated functions from the federal government, state agencies. And one very important, a lot of them relate to industry, construction of storage tanks and things like that. But one very important is floodplain management. And this is a FEMA delegated function that has to do with flood insurance. The federal government issues subsidies for flood insurance for areas that are in a flood zone or in a floodplain. The county has worked very hard at protecting our status. They give us points based on a series of things that the municipalities or the counties can do. The county for incorporated areas has the highest rate of any city or other government agency in the state. We have a 5. Those numbers go from 10 to 1, 10 being the worst, 0 discount, and then for every number down you get 5% discount. This county is at 5. There's only one other municipality in the county, I think it's North Miami, may have a 6. For being at 5, the county gets citizens of the county get a 25% discount from their FEMA subsidized insurance, flood insurance. If that, it's not endorsed either way, but you need to be aware that if that goes, if you decide to integrate into municipalities, you have to, one of your responsibilities is to enact a new FEMA plan and get your own discounts and work on that. So that rating would automatically go to 0, or 10 in this case, where you get 0 discount. And then you can build it up as a municipality to obtain further discounts from the federal government. I think Palmetto Bay has been very active on it, and they may be up to a 4 or a 5 already.